Y'all, I can't wait till Friday morning. I want everybody to tune in because Friday morning I'm going to make a big announcement. So please tune in on Friday morning. I just can't wait. But until then, we're just going to make a strawberry goo pie in just a minute. Good evening, Facebook friends. Y'all want to make a strawberry pie today? Do you? I do. I told you the other day that I had some people to come into the Cottle house and they brought me a bunch of strawberries from Florida. Well, they're just so fresh and good, and I've already been eating them. But now I'm going to make me a pie out of them. This is a pie that my mama used to call, she called it strawberry goo. That's what she called it. And it's really good. And so we're going to make some. See, here's the strawberries. Let me get tied up here. I think you've already seen them. I believe I showed them to you. But look at these things. Aren't they pretty? I thought I'd wear an apron to go with it. But anyway, so we got this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to make our strawberry goo. So just come over here. We're going to get started. Well, first of all, we're going to come over here and we're going to sit you right here to seat with me. And we're going to wash our hands good. We've been to the post office this morning and we've been all over the place this morning. So we're going to get us all cleaned up and we'll be ready to roll. My children at school, my 7th graders, we did a class on germs, that kind of stuff, and I remember showing them how to wash your hands and to go in between your fingers like this and how to do. And I saw one of those students years later, and they said, Miss Brenda, what I remember about your class, it's crazy what they remember. She said, I remember how to wash my hands right. I said, well, that's a good thing, girl. That is a good thing. So what we're going to do, I'm going to sit you right here. There's several ways you can make a crust, and I'm going to make a crust in front of you today, but I can tell you this. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, I got to get one more thing. I'll be right back. Somebody brought me this little, bought me this and sent it to me, and it is so nice. I've enjoyed the heck out of it. Let me move some of my stuff. But anyway, it really works good when you're doing your pie crust or whatever, so I'm gonna use it today. I used it this morning to do some biscuits, but I'm gonna lay it out here. It makes my cleanup just a little bit easier. So anyway, I've got everything out. I've got my Jerry Brown pottery pie bowl plate here. And I've got my rolling pin. I've got some ice water. I've got some room temperature butter right here. And I've got my flour bowl. And remember, I have 2 different flour bowls. This one is my plain white lily flour, or you might call it all-purpose flour. It's the same thing. Plain flour and all-purpose flour is the very same thing. So I'm going to open this up, and I've already got my flour in here. Got me a bird nest. I want to show you this. Good morning, South Carolina, or good afternoon. I had a South Carolina person to send this to me. Is it not cute? I keep it over my flour. All right, so here we go. We're going to make strawberry goo, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our pie crust. Now, you working mothers out there, you're in your 30s, you got babies, you're working, you're trying to take care of your husband and all that. If you can't make a pie crust, don't you worry your pretty little head about it. You just buy you a bought one. But for the ones who can, they do taste better than the bought ones. But you can certainly just do your own. I greased mine a little bit with butter. I am going to put a whole stick of butter in here in my flour. And I'm going to put, I think the last time I made it with you, it seemed like I might have put buttermilk, but there's just several ways I do it. This is another way. I've got my butter in my bowl, and it is room temperature. Now, you're going to see a lot of pie crust recipes where they say to have cold butter and chop it up little, and it'll start looking like little beads and things like that. But this is how I do it. But everybody's different. So I'm going to put just a little bit of ice water in there. I say that is 4 tablespoons. Plus or minus a tablespoon. Take this hand, and I'm going to start working that butter into that flour, that plain flour. All right, I'm going to turn it up this way where you can see it. And it'll be so good. I want to tell y'all a story. I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's where I grew up. Actually, my daddy, he wanted to farm, but like I told you before, he couldn't make a living at it. So we had to move to Tuscaloosa where he could find better work. And he did, and that's where I grew up, and I went to Tuscaloosa County High School. And so we lived close to a big main road there. It was I'm going to add a little bit more water. It was a big, a couple of tablespoons. 1, 2, so that makes 6. It was a big 4-lane highway, and you know, the state in Alabama, they plant things alongside the road to stop erosion. Well, they had planted red clover. It grows real good down here. It's called red clover, and it's a beautiful plant. Grows about that high, and it's got big red things on the end of it that look just like that. They look just like a strawberry. And so there was these people, not anything against Yankees and Northerners, y'all, but these people from up north came down, and they were going to the beach. They were headed through Tuscaloosa going that way. I don't know where actually they came from. But anyway, the wife told the husband, she said, pull over. I want you to look at all these strawberries beside the road. She said, they are so nice that we're going to stop and get some. There's so many of them, they'll never miss them. So they stopped, walked out there to the side of the road, and lo and behold, it was a clover. They were so embarrassed. But you know what? If I went up north and I saw something that I didn't see growing down south, I'd probably do the same thing, do the very same thing. Heck, I would have stopped too. All right, now then, you see how that kind of looks, kind of, sort of. Now I'm going to knead it a while because I want it kind of stiff. And I'm just going to add a little flour and knead some more. Like that. Fold it over. That makes it crispy. Fold it over and flaky. And just play with this a little while. And then we're going to put it in our pie plate, and we're going to cook it on 400 degrees. And then, see, it's beginning to feel a little bit on the sticky side to me. See that? I just feel sticky. So I just add a little flour. You can't mess it up, y'all. You can't mess it up. But all you 20 and 30 and 40-year-olds out there that's working for a living, you got young'uns hungry and all, a fun activity for you to do is go to a strawberry patch. Some people have big fields of it. They'll let you pick and pay. Down here they do. And take your family and let it be an adventure. And go pick y'all a bunch of strawberries and come back. Make you a strawberry goo pie and maybe a strawberry cake. And I like strawberries with milk and sugar over it too. I think that's real good. I'm going to add just a little more. Y'all can do this. I mean, you're not going to mess it up. Just, you got your stick of butter, put your little 5 or 6, 7 things of ice water in it, and then go with it. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Now, let me flour my rolling pin. And it might mess up the first time, but hey, I've got time. All right, I'm going to roll it out a little bit like this. I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to roll it some more. Fold it over. Roll it some more. And I know y'all can see. There you go. Anyway, that was my strawberry story. And when I was 4 years old, we lived in Pickens County, Alabama. down in the Spring Hill area, and hello every morning, everybody from down in that area in Pickens County, Alabama. But anyway, there was a lady down the street from my mama's house when we lived there. They lived out in the country. And her name, I don't know her first name, but her name was Miss Baines. And she had a strawberry patch. So she invited Mama and me to come down there and pick strawberries in her strawberry patch. And I remember that, y'all, and I was 4 or less. And so that made an impression on me, a big impression. We never know how we're going to influence somebody, do we? But Miss Baines was so sweet to me, and she had little cookies made, and she gave to me. And see, she's gone on now to heaven, but her influence is still here. You know, we influence people every day, every single day. Every one of y'all are influencing people. You're influencing them on the phone or on the internet or in your church or going to the grocery store. You're influencing. You may be influencing for the bad or for the good. I don't know, because I don't really know y'all really personally too much. Just my Facebook friends, and some of you I'm getting to know better and better. I feel like I know you anyway, because I read your comments, as many as I possibly can. Y'all know sometimes there's 11,000 comments on there, so I read all I can. But I do know this. I want to thank y'all for answering comments of other people. I've seen the time when somebody would write in and they would ask a legitimate question. They wanted to know something. And y'all would answer them. And I thank you seasoned cooks out there that do that, because you are making a difference in the lives of these young women who are trying to learn to cook. So I think it's great. Absolutely wonderful. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this big old thing right here. I'm going to see if it'll work. I'm going to try it. I'm going to flip it over in that pipe thing. So let's see if this works. Woo! Let's see if it's stuck. Oh, look what I have just found out. Didn't that do pretty? Push it down in there a little bit. Make it touch the bottom around the sides. And this pie crust, this little pie plate, already has your pretty on it, doesn't it? Okay. Like that. Thank you, new followers I've got out there. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for being in my kitchen with me. We have a good time in this kitchen. And we can eat some good food. All right, now I'm going to take me a knife and I'm going to trim off this extra. If I get it off my hand right there. I know y'all know when I open a drawer, because it squeaks every time I open it. Okay, I'm just going to trim this off right here. Okay, get around on this side. Anyway, I went to town this morning. I ate with my lunch bunch. We went to Hook's Barbecue today. That's where we went. And we sat in there, we ate our barbecue, and I promise we probably stayed in there 2 hours. I know the management was probably ready for us to get out. But we really enjoyed our visit with one another. Okay, there it was. There it is. It wasn't much to it, was it? And we actually got enough dough to make, let's say you were making a pie and you wanted a top. Well, you got plenty. And so I'm going to pop this in the oven on 400. And I don't know how long. I'm just going to watch it. So, let me put it in there real quickly. And I'll probably turn y'all off while it's cooking, and I'll tell you how long it cooks, but I don't really know how long it's going to cook. I'm going to have to look in there and see. And when it gets ready, well, it'll be ready. But anyway, I'll be back in a few minutes. As soon as that does, and we'll make our strawberry goo, okay? Okay, y'all, I just got the pie crust out. It took forever to cook. Actually, I think it took probably 40 minutes, plus or minus. But anyway, here it is. I was going to let you see it. It's still hot right now, so I'm going to let this cool. And while it's cooling, I'm just going to make my filling, and then we will do it in just a second. All right, here we go. Here's the recipe. If you're going to write it down, it's strawberry goo pie. 1 small vanilla pudding, instant. All right, I've got that. Actually, it's, I was going to tell you how many ounces. Does it say how many ounces? 3.4 ounces, all right? A small vanilla pudding. And 1 small, anyway, let me do this one first. It calls for 2 cups of water, so let me just go ahead and put that in, because we're going to bring that to a boil, so we'll let that be doing while we're doing this. Anyway, it calls for 1 small vanilla pudding instant. I've got that. We're going to put that in our water in just a second. It calls for 3 ounces of strawberry jello. So I've got that. And it calls for 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And I got the bulk kind. It would probably take a heck of a lot better if I had a lemon I squeeze out, but I'm out of them. I don't have any. Okay, there's 1. Put that in my water. So we've got 2 cups of water. And I am going to get a spoon, and I'm going to stir this other stuff in the water. It said stir it in the water. So first goes in this one, and it is the pudding. Vanilla pudding, the small box of it. Okay? I'm going to whisk it in. And then 1 small strawberry jello, and I think this one is 3 ounces. I believe it was. It wasn't much. Strawberry jello. Put that in. Stir that around. And it says in here too, this is Mama's recipe, by the way. Flo Hicks. She was a fine cook. Anyway, it says to put it in the water, put everything in there together. How easy could that be? Until it comes to a good boil. Cool until thick. All right, so got it in there. Cool until thick. I've already washed our little thing of strawberries. And we're going to cut those up. I'm going to put those in just a minute. It turned cloudy out here today, so I'm glad that yesterday I went outside and played in the dirt. I got out there and just, hey, have y'all ever, I mean, you know what? I love to get in the dirt. I really do. I enjoy the outside. I love dirt. I like to smell dirt. You people that are living in farming communities, do you remember how it smelled when somebody went out there and they plowed the fields? Oh, it smelled so good to me. I like to smell dirt. And then the other thing that I remember as a child is when my daddy would cut the grass. We had some of those wild onions that grew in the grass. And I loved smelling those old wild onions. One time when I was little, I tried to eat one. It wasn't too good, but it wasn't as good as a good onion anyway. Matter of fact, talking about onions, let me show you this. Let me get it out. See if I can find it real quickly. I want to show y'all this. Look at that. Have you ever, look at that. I can assure you this onion right here, what I'm going to do with it is I'm not going to cook it because this is one of those sweet onions. This was given to me. But what I am going to do with it is I'm going to make me an onion sandwich. I love onion sandwiches. If you've never eaten one, you have missed a treat. You cut big thing of it about that thick, about a 1/2 inch. Oh, this is almost to a boil. And you get some that old not for your good white bread, regular white bread, and you mayonnaise this side and this side. Then you put that big old slice of onion in it, real thick, and you put salt and pepper. And you chomp down on that, and let me tell you, it's gonna be good. All right, it's boiling, so I'm supposed to take it off, right? I'm taking it off. Now I'm gonna let it cool a while, and when it cools, we're gonna make our pie. So anyway, I'll turn you off till it gets cool. I guess I got all the lumps out of it. I hope I did. I'm gonna stir it a little while anyway. Maybe have it cool quicker. I may put it in the refrigerator a little bit, because you don't want to put it over your strawberries while it's like that. Woo! Messed up again, Brenda. As my mama used to tell me every time I'd mess up, she'd say, Brenda, you'd mess up a 2-car funeral. Have y'all ever heard of that? Well, that's what my mom said. My daddy said the exact same thing. He sure did. Anyway, I'm going to make an onion sandwich out of that. I may have that tonight with my strawberry pie. That doesn't sound like it goes too good together, does it? But that's what I'm going to have anyway. All right, I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, y'all, the crust is cool. The goo part is kind of set up a little bit. And I want to show you something about this crust. When I took it out and now it's all cool, I want to show you something. This is how crispy it is. Look. You take the whole thing out. See there? It's just as crispy as it can be. Let me see if I can get it back where it was. I want to show it to you, though, in case you had a question. And I'm going to pinch off the edge because I want you to hear it. If I can get a piece off of there just to let you hear what it tastes like. I mean, well, you can't taste it, but you can hear it. And it tastes really good. And you can't mess up because you're going to, if you add too much flour, you just add a little water. If you add too much water, you add a little flour. I mean, you know, it's not rocket science. And it tastes really good. So anyway, what the recipe said to do, let me get it set back in here right. I should have never taken it out. Okay, that's good enough. It said to put your strawberries in the bottle. But, you know me, I'm always changing recipes. So what I think it'd be better to do is put part of my strawberries, part of my goo, and then the rest of the strawberries and the rest of the goo. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put half these strawberries in the bottom, spread them around, and this, I'm going to add my stuff. And this, thank you for my Facebook followers that sent this little thing. It's so nice. But anyway, all right, I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to pour half of it on around. All right, spread it around a little bit. And I'm going to put the rest of the strawberries on it. Spread that around. Put a little more goo in it. I'm going to tell y'all, you know, when I'm making a recipe and I think it should be different, I mark it on the recipe. And in recipe books, I mark it and say, it's not worth fixing, or I'll write down, it's delicious, or whatever like that. So on this recipe of my mama's, I'm going to find me a pen over here. And I'm going to put less water next time. This seems a little watery to me. I think it should be thicker. So what I'm going to do on the recipe right here where it says 2 cups of water, I'm going to change it to 1.5 cups. So I'm putting it right over here to the side. I'm saying 1.5 cups of water. And so that's what I'm going to do. Now then, I'm going to make a topping for it. So y'all come over here and let's make our topping for our pie. It's real easy to do. Let's turn this on light where we can see what we're doing. It's already turned dark outside. And the reason for it is it's fixed to rain. Anyway, all right, so what I've done, I don't know if you people, let me get it out of the refrigerator. I don't know if you people have ever, I'm sure you have, made the real whipping cream to go on your pies or whatever. There's nothing like it. Now you can buy that squirt-on kind, and it's fine for quickness. But when you eat some of this, you're gonna love it. And it's so easy, especially if you're having company and you want to have something special. Or, well, I'll say this: you're gonna love it if you can get into it. Let me see if I can get into it. I have the hardest time getting into containers of anything I've ever seen. Well, y'all just bear with me. I'm going to get into it one way or the other. I'll punch a hole in it. There we go. I remember one time I was in the kitchen. I couldn't get the, and I've got a really good bottle opener somebody sent me. And thank you for that. But it doesn't work on stuff like this. So, you take your whipping cream and you pour it into your mixer. All of it. You can get a bigger thing than this, but since I was only doing one pie, that's all I was going to use. So it's just like, looks just like milk. And I'm going to turn it on high. And let's let it whip. Anyway, one time I was opening a jug of milk and I couldn't get it open and I needed it. So I took a knife and I punched it in the top and cut the whole top out of that milk so I could have some milk that I needed. I put 3 tablespoons of sugar, and when this heats, I'm going to add some sugar to it, and then I'm going to put it on my pie, and that'll be so good. I just met some people from Missouri. There's a man and his wife, and they were just as sweet as pie. They were sweet as this strawberry pie. They were so nice that they said they felt like they just had to get out of the house, so they just did a road trip. Alright, let me show you how it looks. This is how it looks on here. That milk turned into cream. I didn't even show you down in the container, did I? I'm so sorry. Half the time I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, you use this beater and see how creamy it is. It's good, but it's not sweet. So what I'm going to do is add the little bit of sugar, and I'm going to add just regular granulated sugar. I've got 3 tablespoons. If I taste it after that and it needs more, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do, y'all? I'm going to put more in it. All right, let me get me a scoop thing. I'll rinse this one off in the water over here, and we will be through with our pie. I'm not going to put it in front of you unless I put it at Hannah's, because I'm going over there tonight to eat supper, and I'm going to take the pie. She texted and said she was having chicken and rice. Now that's a 1-pot meal. In other words, she's cooking it together. All right, let's taste it. Oh my gosh, y'all. You have got to buy you some whipping cream. It just says whipping cream on the container. All right, come over here and let's put it on the pie. Get this out so we can see what we're doing. All right, can y'all see that? Can you see it, folks? Get right here. Put you right down on that pie. I know you want a piece of this pie. I know that you do. But you will have to make you one. I'm fixing to take it over to Hannah's, and we're going to have us some strawberry goo and some chicken and rice and some fellowship and some hugging and all those other things that God lets us do. It's so important to hug, I'm telling you. Did you know hugging is good medicine? All right, here we go. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna spread it around just a little bit. Let me get over here closer to where I can work with it. All right, and I'm just gonna spread that around just a little. Now, because of me going over there, this is why I'm putting all of it on right now. But if I were serving this, I probably, and you know, like just a piece or two, what I probably would do is just leave the whipping cream in a bowl, put it in the refrigerator, and just put a dollop on everybody's piece of pie instead of the way I'm doing it right now. Okay? That was fun to make. It's going to be fun to eat. And since nobody's here but me, I'm going to let the beater. That is so good. I could eat the whole thing. All right. Remember now, y'all, tune in Friday because I'm going to tell you something on Friday. Something you're going to want to hear. Something I'm excited about. Y'all make you a pie crust tonight. Just experiment. Just experiment. Okay? It'll be delicious. Get you out a little butter, a little cold water, and some white lily flour, and go to work. Love y'all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Y'all, this is my pie, but I do want to tell you one thing. I did not roll my crust out thin enough, so it was kind of a little bit on the cookie side hard. So what I would do if I were you is I would make sure that I roll my crust out thinner than I did. I mean, I love the crust, but it was just too hard for pie. You want to be able to cut it with your fork, and you just about had to pick your pie up to eat it because my crust was so crunchy. But anyway, other than that, it was good. And I think you should make it the day before and let it set up. Let that jello in there set up better. And then the next day, do your whipping cream and put it on top of it. All right, love y'all. And I just wanted to tell you the results. Have a great day. Be blessed. Bye-bye.